Boom. Holy freaking crap, that came out of nowhere. Freaking massive WWE releases today. I was just sitting here chilling, then got on my phone and saw um multiple tweets from Sean Ross Sapp that had been multiple releases from WWE. Looks I'm trying to see if there's any more breaking. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be looking at my phone this whole time so I can read off the list of people that have been released and give my name or give my thoughts about it. But yeah, freaking crazy day. WWE just had their quarterly earnings call and all that, and then yeah, right after that ended is pretty much when all these releases started coming out. So I'm gonna get on Twitter real quick and read these off to you guys so we can break it down and react to it. Because holy freaking crap, it's been a few months since they've had massive releases like this, but here we are. Um, First name up, Scarlett Bordeaux, and while we're touching on that, Karrion Cross. They are both released. Um, Cross hadn't been on Raw in a few weeks, and Scarlett Bordeaux hadn't been on NXT in a few months. So it seemed like Karrion Cross was never given a chance. They didn't like him, or I don't know what the hell their problem was. And Scarlett, all she ever did was be with Karrion Cross, and then when he got called up to the main roster, that was the end of that. So like, it doesn't surprise me she got released, but it does surprise me Karrion Cross got released. But then again, he had been dead in the water ever since he had came up to the main roster, so maybe it's not that much of a surprise. But I mean, that was the first name where like shit. Then Frankie Monet, John Morrison's wife. There hasn't been anything about John Morrison getting released, but Frankie Monet, she got cut, and right after that, she tweeted Tyra Valkyrie. So we know what name she's going to be using when she gets back on the Independence. And for her, I could see her probably going back to TNA, or I don't really see her working out in AEW. But yeah, Valkyrie is now a free agent again. Like I said, she'll probably end up back in AEW, or excuse me, TNA. Ember Moon. Ember Moon should have been a huge star on the main roster with that badass eclipse she did, but she was never treated like anything special. And then, I mean, hell, in NXT, she never really had that big of a run. Like her first time go around, she was always second fiddle to Asuka, and she didn't get the belt until Asuka left. And it's not like she beat Asuka for it. She won it when she vacated it. So, like, Ember Moon was never treated like anything special, even though she had a lot of talent. And it's like, damn, that's kind of BS. Someone as talented as her never was given a fair shot. But she'll go to AEW. Like, she'll fit in really well on that division, especially like, I mean, you got Britt Baker, and I mean, you got a whole bunch of talent over there. So Ember Moon, she's gonna go to AEW. There's not a doubt in my mind about that one. Oni Lorcan, he's another one I think is probably AEW bound. Oni Lorcan's a freaking awesome wrestler. I don't know what it means for Danny Burch, even though I think he's hurt right now. So it's not like anything was going on with them. But yeah, so he'll probably go back on the independents and use Biff Busick as his name. But yeah, that's just another huge surprise right there that freaking Oni Lorcan, he's gone, because he was also kind of like a player coach. Sorry, I'm just trying to check on more of the news right now, and I mean, hell, it's just freaking crazy right now. I'm trying to see if he's put out any more names. It doesn't look like it yet. Um, Shit, fucking crazy. Tweet out the link real quick. See, after Oni Lorcan, B-Fab from Hit Row. That one's really surprising considering they just got called up to the main roster a few weeks ago, and yeah, B-Fab's already been released, which, I mean, you see her in the ring. She had that match on NXT a few weeks ago, and it wasn't that good, but she also hadn't been wrestling for that long. And I mean, the first thing you hear when Hit Row comes out is her going Hit Row. So unless there's like plans to already break up Hit Row and make Top Dollar an instant star or something. Like they just freaking release a part of the group after 3 weeks on TV. But BFAB, I mean, she doesn't have any experience wrestling, so, like, not that much experience, so I don't see her going to AEW. I don't know where she ends up actually, to be honest, just because she really isn't that good, but she has a lot of personality. So maybe she could float around on the independents, maybe go to GCW or something like that, but I don't really see, like, her landing with AEW. Jessie Kamea from NXT, same with her. I mean, there's not really anywhere. I mean, all these people are gonna end up going somewhere, but, like, these next, 3 names I'm about to list off, it's kinda like, 4 names actually, 5. Like, a lot of these, you're just like, okay." It's like they were never really doing anything. So, Jessie Kamea, Zeta Raymer, Trey Baxter, Cortez, Jet Rama, like all those NXT releases. So it's like, okay, I mean, it's not really that shocking when people get released out of developmental, but yeah. Grand Metalik is one of my favorite people to watch. They kind of gave him some single matches last year against AJ Styles on SmackDown, and those matches were freaking kick ass. You watched him in the Cruiserweight Classic a few years ago, and I mean, he's a great wrestler. So, him getting released, I think he will flourish on the independent scene. He can go to AAA or go to AEW or Impact or GCW. There's plenty of options for somebody as talented as him. Along with him is his tag team partner, Lince Dorado. He got released as well. So, I mean, they could team up and then go to AEW and face the Lucha Brothers, or they could go and team up with Andrade, or they can go to excuse me, they could go to AAA and face FTR for the tag team belts. There's plenty of options for them. So they're not going to be struggling for work. They're way too talented luchadors to not be having work. They're freaking amazing. So, I mean, if anything, this is kind of a benefit for Grand Metalik and Lince Dorado because now they can go somewhere and show off how awesome they are. Karrion Kross, we already got into that. He'll probably end up back in TNA just because he doesn't seem like the type to go AEW. He doesn't seem like the type for GCW. He could go to New Japan maybe or AAA, but I think he'll probably end up back in TNA. Nia Jax, thank the fucking Lord. Nothing against Nia Jax, like, personally. I've watched her on Total Divas and all that, and she seems cool on there, you know. And like you see her in interviews and all that. She's got a lot of personality. She seems very likable and all that, but I just can't stand watching her wrestle. And WWE is going to save a lot of money on insurance now that she's gone. Because I mean, look at the fight she got with Charlotte Flair a few weeks ago, and Becky. She hurt Becky Lynch, hurt Bailey, hurt Kyrie Sane, hurt Asuka. She's hurt a bunch of people. Sasha Banks. So it's like they're not gonna miss much with Nia Jax because I mean, you see her on, like I said, those reality shows and podcasts. She has personality on there, but then when she talks, she doesn't have any personality when it comes to cutting a wrestling promo. So I don't really see much going on with her. And I also think this is an indication that they don't think they're gonna get The Rock for WrestleMania because she's The Rock's cousin and all that, and they probably wouldn't want to piss him off if they were gonna get him for WrestleMania this year against Roman Reigns. So I think this is kind of like, okay, we know we're not gonna get him. We'll piss him off right now, and then let bygones be bygones, and then maybe get him for WrestleMania 39 in Los Angeles since he's a big, Hollywood movie star. But I say Nia Jax, I'm not gonna miss anything about her. So I know it kinda sounds mean and all that, but, I mean, she sucked. What is there to say? Now this one kinda breaks my heart. Keith Lee. Keith Lee is so freaking amazing, and him being Bearcat Lee was kinda like one sign of, like, God, this is the beginning of the end. But that's another person, like, he gets called up and it never seemed like they had a plan for him. They just kinda was like, "Okay, he's here. We'll try to make something out of him, but we don't know how we're gonna do it." Like, he started off feuding with Randy Orton and then, like, did nothing after that, and then he had his health issues and all that. He had that one amazing match with Drew McIntyre on Raw, but then he got overshadowed because Goldberg came out. So, like, Keith Lee, he's got so much charisma, and he's really good in the ring for a guy that size, and it never seemed like they gave a crap about him, and if anything, they were probably, like, relieved whenever he was out because it's like, "Okay, we don't have to worry about booking him now." And it's just like, for a guy that talented, they shoulda did a whole bunch of shit with him, like, he should be on SmackDown and be a challenger for Roman Reigns because that would be an amazing match. Or, he came back on Raw and got his ass beat by Bobby Lashley. It's like, I woulda liked to see an extended program with Bobby Lashley. And so they never ever tried with Keith Lee, and that was kinda BS, because he was really freaking awesome, and he still is awesome, and wherever he winds up, which will probably be New Japan or GCW if I had to bet, I mean, he's gonna flourish there. Speaking of Keith Lee, his girlfriend, Mia Yim, she never really found her footing in NXT. Her gimmick was kinda dumb, to be honest, like her being a gang member basically, and it's like her gimmick was freaking goofy, but, she was very likable, and that's what she had going for her. Everyone liked her, and so it kinda made all the fans like her in return. Excuse me. So, like, Mia Yim, say she's well liked, she'll land on her feet somewhere. I think, wherever Keith Lee goes, she'll follow. This is the other thing that kinda sucks about Ring of Honor closing or whatever the hell Ring of Honor's doing. They don't have any momentum now, or I don't know, they don't have, like, anywhere for someone to go, and that sucks for someone like Mia Yim who could probably go to Women of Honor and be amazing. So it's just a bad situation right there, like, with them closing down, it gives these people less of a spot to go, but Mia Yim, she was NXT, she's kind of floated around, and then after that, nothing else really. She was in Retribution, and then after that ended, she was never on TV. I don't think she's been on TV since Retribution ended. So, it sucks for her. I feel bad that she got released, but she'll be able to go somewhere where she'll be used and get to show off some of her talent. Harry Smith, I mean, I don't even really know Harry Smith that much, so I don't really have anything to say about there. Eva Marie, she was out of wrestling before she came back to WWE, came back, was with Dewdrop. This is probably gonna be the last time she comes back. So Eva Marie is, she's probably retired from wrestling at this point now. She'll probably go and do porn or something. I don't know. And it's not like you never saw freaking an effort from her to get better. So there's not really that much to miss about Eva Marie. So that's another one of those releases where you're like, okay, who gives a shit? Um, I think she was the last one so far on this list. The reason behind these releases, John Laurinaitis had sent out an email saying budget cuts, which is the same reason they use every time there's mass firings. They always say budget cuts. So, I mean, maybe they didn't think that their profit or their revenue was as high as it should have been in this quarter, because I think this is the first quarter that they had the money from fans being back in. Don't quote me on that, but I think that would possibly be it. I'm trying to think when their last call was. I think it was in August. I don't remember. Yeah, I think it was in August. I think that was right before or right after they had had another mass firing, which would make sense. So yeah, so maybe they didn't think their revenue was as high as it should have been, or their profit wasn't where it should have been. So they decided to, start trimming the fat, as they usually put it. But yeah, that was the reason they were given with was budget cuts, which it's always budget cuts. This is all coming from Sean Rossap of Fightful.com. Follow him on Twitter. He always breaks wrestling news. He's the best journalist in wrestling. He's better than Ryan Satin. He's better than Dave Meltzer. He's way better than any of those guys. And I think they're about to hop on a stream too. So I would recommend checking that out because Sean Rossap's really freaking educated and entertaining. But so far, I think those are the only releases he's put out there. See, the one about Eva Marie came out 32 minutes ago, and that was the last one. So I think this is it for now. But if there's any more like mass releases, I'll come back on here and talk about them. Thank y'all for watching, and um, it sucks that all these people lost their jobs, but the good thing is there's an alternative, or there's plenty of promotions for them to go to. These people are all going to find work. And then like you get in like the case of like Eva Marie and Nia Jax, they're rich. So it's not like, oh shit, they're going to be starving or whatever. They're freaking rich. So they don't really have, they're going to have to find work eventually, but they're not going to be struggling right now. So, you know, I don't know another way to put it, to be honest. So, but thank y'all for watching. If there's any more releases, I'll come back on here and talk about it. Y'all have a good night.